Good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to today's session. Today we're going to start a brand new session, and this is very specific to one particular organization. And as a part of APSSDC's initiative, we did this program since last 2 years, and it led to a huge success. I pretty much remember last year we started this in Kurnool and few other places, and roughly there are close to 5,000 to 6,000 people got placed in this organization. And this particular company is one of the top most ID company, not just in India but the entire world. And getting into this organization is definitely a dream for a lot of people who are either from engineering background or BSc background. It doesn't really matter, because this company recognizes the skills that you bring on table and how that can be improved to meet the expectation of the company as well as the client. And this is a pure Indian IT company which started way back, even before Wipro or say Infosys was a big name. So I'm sure you can take a guess which company I'm talking about, and this is Tata Consultancy Services, which is TCS. So as far as the TCS placement is concerned, the program is getting started again, and AP State Skill Development Corporation, as a part of the ongoing initiative, wants to make sure that we help you with the initial learning in order to clear the assessments. So what exactly happens as a part of the selection process? First and foremost, you need to remember that you need to have a strong academic background. You should be scoring minimum of 60% and above across your academic career, which is +2, as well as your graduation, and you got to be really good in the fundamentals. But what the company doesn't talk about is certain aspect which they will assess you on as far as the placement process is concerned, and this is where APSSDC program is going to help you. For the next 10 days, I'm going to take you through certain aspects of this entire placement process. So this is more of a recruitment training that you're going to go through. In order to understand what this training is going to be, you need to know what is the pattern of the selection. So here goes the pattern of the entire selection. The first step is going to be the written round, which is an online test. So please remember, the first step is the online test. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a note of these details. So the sections on the placement, there are 4 different sections: email writing skills, quantitative aptitude, the TCS MCQ, and the last one is coding test. So when we talk about MCQ, this is more of a technical aspect, and coding test, again there will be a situation given to you and you need to write a code. The total time given for the coding test is 20 minutes. For the MCQ is 20 minutes. You will have quantitative aptitude before that, 20 questions, 40 minutes. So you basically get 2 minutes per question. That's a whole lot. And then you have email writing. You will have to write 1 email which will ask for, you will be given a 10-minute timeline to write that email. So I'm going to pause here. Please make a note of these aspects. What do we mean by number of star mark question? I will explain to you, but please make a note of these points. All right, let's begin. So you will have email writing. So essentially what happens in an email writing is you will be given a particular topic and you need to write an email which is absolutely relevant and related to that particular topic. It's very important. You need to understand why this is very critical. Now, in order to explain the importance and the significance of it, let me tell you the reality. The first phase of TCS recruitment that happened across Andhra Pradesh, and APSSDC was instrumental in imparting the skills, the recruitment training. 90% of the students did very well in quantitative aptitude, but they failed in email writing skills. Now, what exactly goes wrong in email writing skills? I will take you through that. We will have a very extensive training. What are the pitfalls? What are the areas where you will end up making a mistake in terms of email writing skills? Why it's important? What do they look for? How do they assess you? How do they score you in terms of email writing? I will give you the entire aspect, and in today's session I will talk about the do's and don'ts of the email. I will also show you an example, a quick example, how to write an effective email. Now, once that email is taken care of, even if you clear that, you need to clear the quantitative aptitude. So, quantitative aptitude if you clear, but you do not score well in email writing, if you get disqualified, that means you cannot go through the next segment, which is the interview round, which will be HR as well as technical round. So, let's take a look at the slide again. So, 4 sections we are talking about: email writing skills, quantitative aptitude, the CMCQ, where you need to write some programs and certain questions will be given with optional, basically the multiple choice options which you need to pick from. So, the TCS CMCQ that you see, these are technical questions, 10 questions, you need to pick the correct answer, you will be given options. Coding test, now you need to write a code within 20 minutes. So, the first one, email writing skill, is descriptive, you need to write an email. Quantitative aptitude is multiple choice. The CMCQ again is multiple choice, and coding test you need to write the code the way it can be executed without any issues. Now, the point that you need to keep in mind, it says number of star mark questions is 2, which means there will be 2 questions which will be marked star. You cannot go wrong in these 2 questions. So, when we talk about online test, there is a new rule that has come in, which is in terms of negative marking. Please make a note of these points that I am talking, and please keep that in mind and follow that religiously. There is a negative marking of 0.33 per wrong question in TCS multiple choice questions. Negative marking is only applicable in the quant section. There is not there won't be any negative marking for the email writing on the entire email, so on the entire test. So, when we talk about negative marking, it's only there for the multiple choice questions, and that too only for quantitative aptitude. The second segment that you see, only for quantitative aptitude you will have negative marking. Now, how will it be calculated? If the question, if you answer correctly, you score 1 point. If you answer incorrectly, you will lose 0.33, which means if there are 10 questions, you have answered 8 questions accurately, you score 8 points. 2 questions you make a mistake, it becomes -33 multiplied by 2, which is -66. So, from 8 points that you scored, 0.66 will be deducted. So, negative marking can be very detrimental in terms of a good success ratio, because whatever you have scored, you may end up losing the positive points if you answer incorrectly. That's why please be very careful when you answer the quantitative aptitude questions. You will have 20 questions that needs to be answered in 40 minutes, which means you're getting 2 minutes per question. So, please be extremely sure what you are choosing as your correct answer. Okay. The star mark question have 2 times more marks, and negative marking is also double. What does that mean? When we talk about quantitative aptitude, there are 2 questions. Let me bring my mouse, hover over it. So, you have 2 questions. If the question paper has 10 marks, 10 questions, there are 2 questions which is starred. That means these 2 questions, the score will double. It's like a bumper question. So, it will become 2 points each. Now, when you are scoring positive 2 points, if you go wrong, the negative will also double. So, it will become -66 or -0.66, I am sorry. So, please be very careful. You will score double, but you will also lose double. So for the 2-starred question, please be extremely careful what you're writing. All right. So I'm going to pause here. Please make a note of this. Let me make a quick change here because it's not making complete sense. So let me repeat this. I'm going to mark it bold. I hope this is visible to all of you. There is negative marking of 0.33% for each wrong answer. So when I say 0.33%, that is against the entire point that you can score on that particular question. So negative mark is applicable only in quant section. Okay. So rest of the entire question, there won't be any negative mark. Now this is extremely important. So I'm going to mark this in a different color so that you remember. All right. So let me repeat this again. There is negative marking of 0.33% for every wrong answer. Now when I say 0.33%, which means if the question you can score 1 mark, you will use -33. Negative marking is applicable only in the quant section, and the star mark question have 2 times more marks, and negative mark is also double. Okay. So please bear this in mind, do not go wrong. Now let me talk about the topics that you will get in terms of the quantitative ability. I'm going to mark this bold so that it's clearly visible to you. This is for those who are watching in television or computer screen, just to make sure that this is clearly visible to all of you. So probability, permutation combination, time and distance, time and work, time and distance, time and work, equations, ratio and proportion, allegations and mixtures, series and progressions, average, percentage profit and loss, problems on ages, areas, shapes and perimeter, number system, HCF and LCM, reasoning. So if you look at this entire list of topic, this is what will be covered across the 20 questions that you see here. All right. So these 20 questions will be spread across these topics. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a note of these topics. Probability, permutation and combination, time and distance, time and work, equations, ratios and proportions, allegations and mixtures, series and progression, average, percentage profit and loss, problems on ages, area, shapes and perimeter, number system, HCF and LCM, reasoning. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a quick note of these topics. Okay, I hope this is helpful. So please remember, today's session is only in terms of orientation to help you understand how the entire pattern will be. Tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start the email writing session. Along with that, once I'm done with email writing, I will also talk about essentials of a successful interview, dress code, body language, all this will also be covered. If I'm talking about email writing skill, I also need to talk a bit about communication aspects. So I will talk about that as well, in terms of punctuation, in terms of grammar, in terms of perfect structure for an email, the typos, the grammatical mistakes that we do, the spelling, the common spelling mistakes that we end up doing in email, because you're going to lose marks if you make a grammatical mistake or spelling mistake or punctuation mistake. All this will be a part of my program. And the beginning of the session from tomorrow, I will definitely take you through the entire format, the entire pattern. This is for the benefit of those who could not join today. And the last 10 minutes of the session, including today, will be dedicated for question and answer. So in case any one of you have any questions, you have certain doubts, you want to get it clarified, either through Zoom, the web conference platform which is installed in my system right now, as well as if somebody wants to call and ask any questions, we will be open to that, but only the last 10 minutes of the session, so that you collect all the questions and ask me all together. All right, so let's move forward. So here are the list of topics which you must have taken down. I'm assuming that you have the list of the topics that will be covered for quantitative aptitude. Now in terms of email, these are certain very important aspects that you need to know. Like I said, 90% of the candidates have failed in email writing. They have done really well in terms of quantitative aptitude, but when it comes to email, they failed, because of which they could not even go to the interview round. So I'm going to read this across very slowly so that you can make a note of these. So these are the points that you need to keep in mind in order to do it accurately. These are the email do's. Read the topic carefully. Read and understand the keywords or the key phrases mentioned. Use each and every keyword phrases mentioned. Even if you miss one of the keyword or phrases, the email will be invalid. What do I mean by this point? I will explain to you. Don't worry about it. Just make a note of these. I will explain in detail. I'm going to repeat point number 4 and 3. So use each and every keyword and phrases mentioned. Even if you miss one of the keywords phrases, the email will be invalid. Ensure keywords are used in the same form as mentioned in the topic. For example, if the keyword says buy, you cannot be using a past tense form which is bought. You need to use the word buy. Keyword should be mentioned in the sequence as mentioned in the topic. That is very important. There will be a list of keywords that will be given to you. It could be 8, 10 or 12 for the email. You need to use these keywords in the entire email, so that it has to follow the same sequence. I will explain to you how it's going to look like. Start a new paragraph for change of thought group. What do we mean by thought group? I will explain to you. New paragraph should start as a fresh line. This is in terms of structure. Let me increase the font size for this so that it's visible to you. The entire email should be in left indent format. Don't leave a gap on the left when you start a new paragraph. Use the receiver's name and sender's name as mentioned in the topic. Always begin your mail with greeting, hello, receiver's name. Always end your mail with salutation, thanks and regards, which is a closing, and mention the sender's name. The sender's name and the receiver's name will be mentioned in the email itself. Please do not get confused. I will explain. I will also give you examples how to write these emails. Ensure the entire email is written within 10 minutes. Click on submit button before the 10-minute time is up. Clicking on the button even at the 10-minute mark or later will not allow the email to be submitted. Now this is extremely important, guys. This entire email you need to write within 10 minutes. Now there will be a clock which will be ticking, which will be a countdown timer for 10 minutes. If you are assuming or if you think you can keep on writing the email, the moment it's 10 minutes, the system will automatically submit the answer. No, that's not going to happen. You need to make sure you click on the submit button even before the 10-minute time is up. It could be 9 minutes, it could be 9 minutes 57 seconds or 59 seconds. Doesn't matter. It's mandatory, it's extremely important. You need to, it's compulsory, since you love the word compulsory. It's compulsory and mandatory. You need to click on the submit button for email. Only then your answer will get registered. Lot of people wrote email, but they did not click on the submit button. They thought the moment the time is up, automatically the system will save it. Please don't rely on it. Please click on the submit button. Very, very important. And the points that I'm reading so far, all this will be clarified, all this will be simplified when I'm showing you how the email question will look like and what are the keywords and how you need to write an email. All right, let's move back to the slide. So click on submit button before 10 minutes time is up. Clicking on this on the button even at the 10-minute mark or later will not allow the email to be submitted. Word count of the email should be as per the instruction given in the question. The question will tell you how many words the email should have. It could be 60, it could be 80, it could say that the word count should be between 80 to 100. Please make sure it's not below 80 or not above 100. Very, very important. If you go wrong in these aspects, you will lose marks. You may also get disqualified. All right. Now let me take you through the don'ts. These are the things you should not be doing in terms of email writing. Do not miss even a single keyword or phrase mentioned in the topic. Do not change the tense or verb form of the given keyword. Do not address the receiver as hi. Lot of people write an email with hi. Please do not use hi. It should be hello. That's more professional way. Do not make any spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes in the email. Do not exceed 10 minutes time limit. Do not write the email below the number of words given in the instruction. So if the email says that it should be minimum of 80 words, even if your email is 79 words, you will get disqualified. If you make grammatical mistake in terms of more than one word or sentence, you will lose points. If you make lot of punctuation mistakes, you will get disqualified. If you make typographical mistakes, like lot of people have issues with spelling. If I'm writing something on a Word document or PowerPoint, the system itself shows me what is the correct spelling. But when it comes to email writing on TCS, it's not going to tell you. So you got to be extremely careful. I will talk about these aspects. Clear? So I'm going to read out the don'ts once again. So please keep this in mind. And what do I mean by keyword? I will explain to you shortly. Do not miss even a single keyword or phrase mentioned in the topic. Do not change the tense or the verb form in the given keyword. For example, if the keyword is buy, if the keyword is go, you cannot change will be going or went or bought or will be buying. You cannot do that. Do not address the receiver as hi. It should be hello. Do not make any spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes. Do not exceed 10 minutes timeline. Like I told you, you need to click on the submit button even before the 10-minute time is up. Very, very important. If you miss that, you will get disqualified. It will not register your answer. And the last point, do not write the email below the number of word count that is given on the instruction. Clear? So let me show you how the question will look like. I just want to make use of, let me see if this is going to be comfortable. I hope the screen is visible to everybody. So let me remove these grids. Okay, I'm going to show you an example question how the TCS email question will look like. Now my program will talk about email writing. Later on I'll talk about body language and interview essentials, how to succeed in interviews, what is the importance of body language. I will also talk about dress code, what kind of shirt you should be wearing, what kind of watch you should be wearing, should you carry a pen or not. I will also help you with resume, so don't worry about all these aspects. Focus on the email. Once we are done, we'll move forward. Okay, so this is a typical email question that will come through for the TCS email assessment. I'm going to increase the font size so that this is going to be visible to you. You are the manager for a team of 10 members. I hope this is visible now. So we're going to wrap the session as soon as I'm done giving you the question. If you have any questions, you can ask on Zoom. I'm going to remove the mute. If anybody got a question, you can ask me while I'm writing this particular sample question. Very simple. Let me read this out. You are the manager for a team of 10 members. Write an email to the team informing them about the Independence Day celebration in office. This is a typical question that you will get. Okay, let me mark it bold so that it's visible to you. These are the kind of email scenario you will get. Now what it will say, use the below keywords. So wish, inform, independence, freedom, sacrifice. Okay, I'm going to give you, so this is 5. I'm going to give you 5 more. So see, I made a mistake and I am able to correct it. Okay, so these are the 10 words that you will get. You need to write an email to the team about the Independence Day celebration using these words, and the sequence should be same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is wish, inform, independence, freedom, sacrifice, dress code, competition, winner, lunch, contribution. You need to use the sequence in the same manner. You need to use all these keywords, and the email should be a minimum of 80 words. For example, you will write, dear team, I wish to inform you that we are going to celebrate Independence Day to mark the freedom of our nation, to pay respect to all the freedom fighters who made the sacrifice. So if you pay attention, I said who made the sacrifice. I am not saying who sacrificed their lives, because if I say sacrificed with a D in the end, it becomes past tense form and I am not allowed to do that. So who made the sacrifice. I would like to inform you that there will be a dress code which will be traditional or ethnic, and there will also be a competition for best dressed male or female. The winner will be given a surprise and the team is invited for the lunch. I thank you in advance for the contribution to make this entire function successful. Very simple. I used all the keywords in the same fashion it's given. Neither I am changing the verb form, nor I'm changing the tense form. I'm not supposed to do that. Even if I miss one keyword, I will get disqualified. If I change the form, I'll get disqualified. If I write less than the prescribed number of keywords, I will get disqualified. If I make grammatical mistake, punctuation mistake, I will lose points. But I will also help you how to ensure you do not make these mistakes. Okay? What I would love to do is, now that you have this particular program on YouTube, you know this is the question, I want you to write the email and post on the comment section of the YouTube video which is getting broadcasted right now. Tomorrow I will take a look at it and will also announce the name of the person who wrote the most accurate email, and tomorrow I will definitely tell you how to be successful in these emails. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to write to me on the comment section of the YouTube program that you're watching. If you're watching it on MANATV, you can go back to YouTube, look for the channel for today's program, and it's listed as TCS Drive Orientation. So please post your questions. I will take a look at it after the session is over, and tomorrow I will answer these questions. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. Once again, I want to thank you for participating. I know this was a little short notice, but the idea is to make sure that you understand what this program is all about. So we'll talk about the entire quantitative aptitude as well in a different session, and once that is done, we'll move on to the next segment. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for participating. Have a great day. Bye-bye.